It is 19 days to the presidential and parliamentary elections. Good morning and welcome to NewsX. We're live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125 on all our social media handles. We are Joy News on TV. Coming up within the next 60 minutes, Teachers and Educational Workers Union of the Trade Union Congress withdraws their services nationwide in protest of government's failure to address delays in implementing their revised conditions of service. Also coming up, Ghana National Fire Service records 4,650 fires from January to September 2024, a 3.17% increase in fire incidents recorded within the same period last year. We will engage the fire service, which is advocating for the public to take preventive measures to curb fire-related emergencies. And later in our Streets of Despair series, we take you to Kaneshie First Light, where foreign children as young as 10 years old, far from home, are fighting to survive. Once beggars, they now hawk goods at the median of our city's busiest streets. My name is Faustina Safo. Thank you for choosing us. Thanks for choosing us. We are your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. Now, we start with the Ghana National Fire Service because they have recorded a 3.17% increase in fire incidences from January to September 2024 compared to the same period in 2023. In all, 4,650 fires were recorded this year, up from 4,507 in 2023, reflecting an increase in the incidence of fire-related emergencies, while domestic fires accounted for the highest proportion of the incidents recorded this year. Electrical faults, improper use of LPG, indiscriminate burning of refuge and bushes, and misuse of naked flames such as mosquito coil, candles and lighters are the leading causes of fire incidents. On your screens now is a breakdown of the data from the Ghana National Fire Service, just showing you the picture of what exactly we are experiencing. Well, in the year 2023, 4,507 cases were recorded. In the year 2024, 4,650 cases were recorded, and that is between January and September of this year. And that is a 3.17% increase in fire cases recorded. Let's take you to the next slide. Well, this is a breakdown, month-by-month breakdown of the cases recorded from January till September. And it just gives us a picture of what exactly we are experiencing. In January 2024, they recorded 802 cases. In February, they recorded 917 cases. Now, mind you, that's the highest cases they have recorded this year, if you're looking at the figures. And it's actually an increase from the cases they recorded as far back as last year, within the same period, February, which they recorded 728 cases. Let's come down to the month of March. Last year, at the same time, the month of March, they recorded 622 fire incidences. This year, it has dropped to 594. So some sort of gains there. In the month of April, the same thing. They recorded more cases last year, 506. This year, they're doing a little bit better, 488. Let's move on to the month of May, where they recorded 437 cases. That's an increase as compared to last year within the same period, where they recorded 428 cases. In the month of June, they recorded 338 cases for the year 2024. For the year 2023, they recorded 337 cases. Let's keep all the way to the month of September, where they recorded 407 cases as compared to last year, where they recorded 358 cases. That's an increase. So the total fires recorded as at their last count, which is in the month of September, was 4,650 for the year 2024. Comparing that to the last year, 2023, where they recorded 4,507 fire cases. Well, we'll be getting into the dynamics and what is informing this with the Ghana National Fire Service. Now, on your screens now is a breakdown of the major causes of the inferno they recorded across the country. 1, electric faults, improper use of LPG, indiscriminate burning of refuse and bushes, misuse of naked flames, so candles, mosquito coils, lighters. Now, this is a breakdown of the cases they recorded based on the type. So, domestic cases, now if you see the red bar, it refers to this year, so the year 2024. Domestic cases recorded this year, 1,760. That's a decrease as compared to last year, where they recorded 1,816. Commercial cases also have gone down a bit as compared to last year. They recorded 733 cases this year. Last year, the year 2023, they recorded 749 cases. Now, when it comes to the burning of bush, refuse, you name it, they have recorded an increase in cases this year, 652 as compared to last year, 565. Electrical faults also has increased this year, 637, I beg your pardon, and last year it was 559. Vehicle, we have more cases this year, just a slight increase though, 436 as compared to last year, 429. So let's get into the dynamics and just get an understanding of what exactly is happening. We will be engaging the Ghana National Fire Service. A member of the PR team is in the studio to just give us his thoughts. And that's the last slide when you do the comparative analysis, where in the year 2024, you had 3,179 cases put out by the Ghana National Fire Service. And as at the year 2023, you had 3,003 cases that the Ghana National Fire Service put out. And on the top side of that slide, you know, it gives you a breakdown of the number of cases that as at the time the Ghana National Service arrived, residents had already taken the initiative to put out the fire. So last year was 1,504, and this year it is 1,471. It speaks volumes there. It means that your response is getting better. And I have Alex Kignati in the studio. Let's start from our first slide, but I want an update. This is data for January till September. So I'm sure the cases have gone up.
Well, relatively, they've gone up, and it's not to paint a gloomy picture. It's rather to talk about how our education has gone down. People initially didn't know our emergency numbers, so a lot of these fires went unreported. So at least since our education has gone down well, people are getting the knowledge of our numbers and calling. That's why we've been able to. The figure doesn't really pose an alarming threat, but it's rather a progress of the fact that now when you see the lay person out there, most of them are able to, out of 5 people, I'm sure 3 will be able to correctly give our emergency numbers. So yes, it's the figures will go up, obviously, because as we speak, there's an industrial fire at Shire Hills, there's another fire at Airport, there's a vehicular fire.
Airport?
Yes, around the Kenya Embassy.
Okay.
And then there was a vehicular fire at Botiman, you know, so the fires are not resting. You know, yesterday there was a Chairman also of contained burning at Medina. So the figures will go up, but the good thing is that, as you realize, the out on arrival means that our education is yielding fruits, whereby people are now abreasting themselves with the knowledge on how to handle fires when they happen at the initial stages. So most of the time when our crew get there, they do what we call cooling assessments to make sure that there's no room for reignition of the fires that the people have already put out.
So can we get an update to the figure, the exact figure right now?
We're still collating, we are doing it quarterly.
Okay.
So we'll definitely, just as we give you this, we'll definitely update you the quarterly figure. And also the fact that some of the causes for this is that you realize that there's been a lot of urbanization. People coming from the hinterlands trying to settle in Accra for greener pastures or for whatever reason. And we know the unavailability of rooms and accommodation. So people tend to resort to slum dwelling. And these slum dwellings are most of the time used for domestic purposes. So just like the one recorded
at Circle.
Exactly. It was wooden structures used for dwelling purposes, and they all account for domestic fires. So the urbanization, people moving to Accra and then, having to settle in slum areas, and the fact that these slum areas do not adhere to fire safety regulations is adding up to the numbers of the domestic fire.
Let's do a month-by-month breakdown. Based on the data we saw that in the month of February, you recorded more cases. Why exactly? Okay,
so February had the volatile month, weather. So you realize that we recorded a lot of bushfires in February. So that was the issue with the weather, during February. So you realize that subsequently we worked hard to make sure that the figures for the other months, didn't go as high as they did. So we did our best, and again, I would like, to give credit to where credit is due, that due to our efforts in tackling bushfires, we just launched our Bushfire Awareness Week on Friday, and due to our efforts, we've been able to ensure food security in Ghana. It's been a long while we heard of food shortage, and obviously bushfires is one of the major reasons for food insecurity in the country. And I would say kudos to our chief fire officer, our council chairman, and even the over 6,000 fire volunteers we have scattered around, who are helping us to ensure that we're able to protect our bushes and our farmlands from fires.
The last time we had a conversation, we were quite worried about the availability of fire tenders to aid your response time. Has the situation improved?
The situation has improved very, very much. The situation has improved, but we hope it will get better. We hope that we'll get new appliances. But notwithstanding, we've tremendously increased the fire tenders that were out of commission. Abilinkwe was out of commission. They are back. Amasaman was out of commission. They are back. Circle is back. Our Kolebu is back. I would say over 80% of the fire tenders are back on the routes, and our chief and our regional commanders are not resting until the rest. But then the long-lasting solution is that new fire tenders would help, and then the fact that people would donate rapid intervention vehicles to the Ghana National Fire Service. A philanthropist from the UK recently donated rapid intervention vehicles, Mr. Storm Menry, and it was very good. We've taken it to one of our areas where road accidents and then vehicular fires are prone. So if you're in an area and you feel you can contribute, yes, everyone will say it's the job of the government, but government can't do it all. And at the end of the day, you are the people that are affected. So why don't you also chip in so that together we can be able to protect you?
Let's look at the data again, just to break down some of the leading causes of the fires you recorded. And I could see that you had electrical faults. Why is that one of the leading causes? You had improper use of LPG, the burning of refuse, which you have spoken about, and misuse of naked flames. Yes. Highlight that for me.
Okay, so with the electrical faults, believe it or not, contrary to people thinking that when it's raining we don't record fires, it's very wrong. We record a lot of electrical fires during the rains. So any fire involving transformers, involving ECG poles, even involving electrical installations at your home. They all fall under the electrical fires. And you know, the weather is unpredictable. We have so these meters, especially the meters outside, they are subject to heat, they are subject to rain. So due to the volatility of the weather, it can set off fires, and the transformers also. So that's how come we have such a number for the electrical fires. Also, the fact that people resort to burning coils, burning candles, you know, now that we have the lights going on and off a little bit, people resort to candles, and especially those who stay within structures, they resort, because they can't afford generators or maybe rechargeable lights, so they resort to candles. And in resorting to candles, they probably do not take into consideration safety measures in using these candles in a safe and a conducive way. So you realize that someone using a candle will probably just put the candle on the floor or on the carpets, you know, laying on the floor. And so when the candle wears out, the flame can come into contact with the carpet or with the wood and starts a fire. The same even with people's homes. So we advise people that when you want to use candles, try and get a ceramic bowl or a glass bowl, fill it with water, and then put the candle in there. So that even if someone accidentally hits the candle, the fire would fall into the water and extinguish itself on its own. Or when it wears out, it just wears into the water and then it goes out on its own. So we've rolled out a lot of education. We are not resting. We've intensified education ahead of the Christmas, ahead of elections. We've recalled all our officers back who were on leave to be back for active duty.
So how many men will you be deploying for the festive season and also for the election?
Okay, so the election, we have a lot of our officers who have already been, who are on the list to be deployed to complement our colleagues, the police, you know, during the election duties. Also, our various stations will be embarking on night patrols in areas or flag or red zones where they know fires are rife, so that they'll be able to be on top of issues. Our fire safety task force will also be going around to ensure that people are adhering to our fire safety regulation. And also ahead of the Christmas, Boxing Day, you know, I think people have seen it all. Hampers, it's old-fashioned. Buy people fire extinguishers to protect themselves at home, you know, so that fire extinguishers, because fires are real. This morning, before I came here, a lot of fires. So I would advise people that instead of doing hampers, you know, you can get a nice ribbon on the fire extinguisher and give it to someone as a gift. And trust me, when there's fire, the person will remember your gift.
So that's coming from Alex King-Nartey. Get yourself a fire extinguisher as your gift for your friends and family this festive season. Thank you so much for your time here on Newsx. Now, away from that, today in our Streets of Despair series, we take you to Kaneshie First Light here in the Greater Accra region, where children, some as young as 10 years old and far from their homes in Niger and Nigeria, are fighting to survive. These children, once seen begging at car windows, are now selling goods at the median of our city's busiest streets, dodging traffic and finding ways to feed themselves and their families with dignity. There's more in this report. I have come to one of the busiest intersections in the capital, Kaneshie First Light. Once the traffic light signals red, young faces appear through the blare of car windows with outstretched arms, warm smiles, and sometimes tear-filled eyes. They try to prick your conscience, hoping you spare a coin or two. These children, often from Niger and Nigeria, once upon a time survived mainly through the benevolence of passengers and drivers. However, their approach has changed. They have become vendors, selling products like cotton earbuds and brushes, striving to catch the attention of potential buyers. For these young ones, this isn't just a sales pitch. 10-year-old Aisha says she makes enough profit selling cotton earbuds to feed herself and her parents, who are meters away.
My parents moved from Niger because things there were difficult. We came here hoping for a better life. At first, I begged, but now I make more money selling. I can now cater for myself and my parents.
For 10-year-old Fati, selling car brushes provides her the dignity begging deprives her of.
When I was begging, people used to stare at me a lot. Now I sell and I know they see me. It's not much, but I'm earning something and feels better. I make at least 20 cedis profits a day.
This new path is far from easy. There are days when they make nothing, standing in the hot sun or under pouring rain, but they still push on for the sake of their families.
There are days when the sales are not good, but still, we try our best. We can only pray for better days.
These children, though still so young, are learning harsh lessons in resilience, lessons that no child should ever have to learn. Caught between the innocence of childhood and the harsh demands of survival, these children are left to wonder, is there a future beyond the streets, or will they be forever bound to this life? For Sinasafo, Joy News, Kaneshi First Light. While young girls with end-stage kidney failure, a young girl with end-stage kidney failure, Rosemary Bedu, will begin her pre-transplant workout on Thursday after the CEO of Engineers and Planners, Ibrahim Mahama, paid $25,000 required for her surgery. Ahead of this, Rafiq Mahama, the special aide to the business mogul, visited the family to offer more support. Emmanuel Jivenu has more in the following report.
It was a moment of raw emotions as Rosemary's mother fell to her knees to thank Ibrahim Mahama, whose kindness has given her daughter a chance at life. The special aide to CEO of Engineers and Planners in Jetta Cement, Rafiq Mahama, visited the family to wish them well ahead of the pre-transplant evaluation this week.
I was having a discussion with boss, and that's Mr. Ibrahim Mahama. So he said it's important that I come here to see them, and also before we start the process next week, so that I will see the family and also make sure that everything is fine with them before they leave for the hospital. We pray that every process that we go through in this journey, it will go well, and Rosemary will come back stronger and join her colleagues in school.
Mr. Rafiq Mahama also presented 20,000 cedis to Rosemary and the mother for their upkeep.
Mr. Ibrahim Mahama, my boss, as part of the visit, he said I should please give you 20,000 cedis so that you use it for the meantime to take care of yourselves before you report to the hospital next week.
For Rosemary, after years of enduring painful dialysis session and facing uncertain future, hope has finally found her.
Daddy, I thank you all. I really appreciate it. God bless you all for supporting me. As you care for me and support for you, my Lord in heaven will also provide for you, care for you. Bless your work. Wherever you took the money from shall be filled times 100. God bless you all. I never dreamed of this. I know one day I'll get out of this, but I never thought of giving. God will bless me with this such a great opportunity. God bless you all.
For Rosemary's mother, Mr. Ibrahim's relief is immeasurable. For Rosemary and her mother, the journey ahead is daunting, but they are no longer walking it alone. Thanks to Ibrahim Mahama and all who continue to support and pray for them. Emmanuel Jivenu, Joy News, Teman.
Let's take you now to Parliament, where Okudzeto Ablakwa is addressing the media. He's been raising concerns about the school feeding program and the distribution of some expired rice. Let's listen in.
Fojo, who has remained silent, as if he's not in this country. The earlier he tells Ghanaians why he concealed this information, because as far back as January, they could have stopped the repackaging and redistribution of this rice. None of them will be made to get away. Ladies and gentlemen, we call on CHAS, teacher unions, the PTAs, and all Ghanaians to insist, indeed they must insist, that no senior high school should ever again be made to receive food items which have been criminally repackaged and which do not contain expiry dates. This must be a no, 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 and must never be countenanced. Friends from the media, our side in respective parliamentary committees have agreed to initiate inquiries into this atrocious affair. And you can see our distinguished ranking member on the Education Committee. And to be fair to him, for many months and years, he has been raising concerns about the quality of food. You recall, you have interviewed him here on many occasions. Now we have the incontrovertible evidence. He always knew what he was talking about. But the Ministry of Education, which he oversights, refused to listen to him. And now see where we are. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall not rest until justice is done in this matter. Our senior high school students must never be subjected to this unwarranted callousness and heartlessness just because an unscrupulous few seek to enrich themselves. We thank you very much for your attention. We shall now take your questions. You can moderate. Moderate those who have questions.
Yeah, thank you very much, Majority Chief Whip. You have listened to Honorable Sami Okudzeto very carefully, the chairman of the Assurances Committee. We've spoken about these food issues severally. And I think about 4 years ago, I had the privilege to meet you with some contaminated or expired tinned fish that was distributed to senior high schools. And this is a confirmation of what we have been fighting against over the years. So if you have any questions, we'll be ready to listen to you and answer them. Okay, you mention your name and your media house, then we'll listen to you.
All right, thank you. My name is Kweku Sechidan, so I work with Ghana9peace.com. You indicated that you will not rest. Just to find out from you, using the Ghanaian parliamentary system, how soon should we see you on the floor bringing this issue for an action to be taken? And seeking for justice, if you are not satisfied, would we see you at the community court? Thank you.
We'll take two more and then you will respond. Yeah.
Christian Besseson is my name, with Natural Resources News. The investigative lawmaker. For the parliamentary routes, I'm not sure how feasible that is because of the times in which we are and looking at the timing. And so will you consider using civil society organizations, especially those who are pro-education, to help fight this cause. Thank you.
My name is Emmanuel Akoli. I am Emmanuel Akoli of Peace FM. I want to find out those who are behind Laments or who owns Laments. Thank you.
Okay, let's take the fourth one then. The first one.
There are several anti-corruption issues. Which of them are you referring to for the Ministry of Education?
Yes, the question regarding whether the limited parliamentary sitting days would affect this. Well, our response is this. Parliamentary oversight is not on break. It is as long as Parliament exists and there are members, our oversight continues. In fact, what we have just done is the continuation of the oversight, though we are on break in activities on the floor. And committees of Parliament are not on break either. So it actually tells you that part of the work is being done. We wait until Parliament is recalled to see which of these actions can be taken on the floor. I think the rest of the answers would come from what my colleagues would also provide. But I can tell you what we are doing actually suggests that Parliament is still in process. Committees are working and oversight is still in progress. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Chief Whip. I'll respond to the other questions. I'll start with the last one from our brother from Peace FM. I hold in my hands the incorporation documents of Laments Investment Africa Limited. It was incorporated on 30th July 2020. So just a few days really till when it received the single source contract. So they were not even procured on a competitive basis. And they didn't have any track record by the time they were given this contract. And you see, these are the consequences. When we talk about follow the procurement law, do due diligence, let things be competitive, then you will be able to get, I mean, what is so special about the importation of food items, that all of these hundreds of credible companies we had to single source, and you can tell there was insider dealing. You know, hey, there's an opportunity for, remember that food distribution has been centralized. And that is why in the NDC manifesto, we are promising that we will go back to the era where the heads could procure their own food, where it was decentralized. They can go to their own local market, help local farmers, local food producers.
Well, the minority there is speaking about the distribution of expired rice to senior high schools. Well, at 12 p.m., we'll be engaging the Education Ministry to get their side of the story. Now let's...